Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to give an overview of what it takes to move to the UK as a nurse. I'll also be giving some tips that can help to motivate and encourage any nurse that is willing to relocate, and this will all be based on my own experience as a nurse who has also gone through the same process myself. If this is your first time coming to my channel, my name is Yewande and I'm a registered nurse in the UK. Alright, let's get into the video. Moving to the UK as a nurse involves lots of stages and lots of processes, but it's not really as complicated or as difficult as it seems. You just have to take it one step at a time. So what I would like to give is just a summary so that it can make the process less daunting, especially for people that are just starting or just considering, and then you see all these stages that you have to go through. It's really not that difficult, all you have to do is just pass the exams. So the whole process of moving to the UK as a nurse, I've divided it into 3 stages. The first stage is to pursue your registration with NMC, followed by your visa application, which is your tier 2 visa application, right? And then the third stage is to arrive UK, sit your OSCE and get your PIN. It sounds simple, but I'm going to give a brief explanation of what each stage contains. Alright, so the first stage of pursuing your registration with NMC, there are a series of things that you need to do under this stage. First of all, definitely, before you even think about wanting to relocate as a nurse to another country, you have to be a nurse in your own home country. So be it you are from Nigeria, the Philippines, or anywhere in Africa, you have to make sure that you're a registered nurse in your country, and then your license is also valid, okay? So once you've certified that you are a registered nurse, definitely, then you need to proceed to writing the required exams. And the list of exams you have to write start with your IELTS. IELTS is a test of English language examination. Consists of the listening, reading, speaking, and writing sections. If you want me to elaborate more on any part of this video, just drop your questions in the comment section and probably I'll do a Q&A after this particular video. But this video is just a summary, so I will not be going really in depth. So like I was saying, IELTS is the first exam that you have to write. Total, the exams that you need to write in this whole process is 3. Your IELTS, your CBT, and your OSCE, okay? So writing your IELTS and CBT is the first part of the process. Then after passing your IELTS and CBT, still in the stage of pursuing your registration, I talked about writing your IELTS, writing your CBT. Once you have passed those 2 exams, then you have to pursue your registration with NMC UK. And how do you do that? You do that by submitting all the required documents. They are going to request for, your transcripts from your school, your verification of your license from NMC Nigeria, and some other documents that they are going to list on their website. You have to provide all these documents to NMC UK. After it has been verified, all the documents that you send, then the NMC UK will send you a decision letter, and the decision is that you are now being qualified to write the OSCE, which is the last exam, okay? And at this point, you can qualify as a pre-registered nurse in the UK. That ends the first stage of the process. And let me tell you something, the first stage of the process is usually the most, is the longest, and is usually the most tedious part of the process. Once you cross this hurdle, then you have gone halfway of the process. That is just halfway through the process and you have done majority of the work, and this is not the time to give up. Now, moving on to the second stage. The second stage is a combination of looking for job and your visa application. Looking for jobs, okay, it's not really that difficult because companies, the NHS, private companies are ready to, at least as of right now, there's a shortage of nurses in the UK, so they are ready with their job offers waiting for you once you do your own part. So there are different ways that you can, get jobs. I can elaborate on this in another video. There are different ways that you can look for jobs, that either through registered agencies that you don't have to pay, by the way. Through registered agencies, you can go directly to job websites and apply. Once you have your decision letter, and once you now get a job, definitely getting a job, you have to do online interview through Skype. And then one advice I'll give to you is that when looking for a job, make sure that you open your eyes well and read the contract, look at the terms and conditions, look at the benefits, the salary, and everything attached before you sign any contract. In a job and applying for your visa comes hand in hand, because once you get a job offer and you also accept the job offer, you get something called a COS. A COS is called Certificate of Sponsorship, and it is only given by people that are registered and eligible, companies that are eligible to give this certificate. There's a lot of standards that is regulated with. So yours is to just get this certificate of sponsorship, because this certificate of sponsorship is one of the documents that you need to apply for your visa. So that's why I said getting a job offer and applying for your tier 2 visa goes hand in hand. To apply for your tier 2 visa, there are a lot of things that is involved, ranging from submitting documents like your COS, which is very important, your IELTS, your police clearance, TB test result is also something that you have to do. So there are a list of documents that will be required from you. So make sure you take time, sit down and fill your applications properly. And if you get your job through an agency, some agency also help with the visa application process, in that they ensure that all your documents are valid, and then there's no mistake and everything. They help you book your appointment. All you have to do is go there for your biometrics. Once you have all these documents in place, your visa is almost guaranteed, honestly. So that ends the second stage of the process. Then, depending on what kind of visa that you apply for, you get your visa decision, and once you've gotten your visa accepted, the next thing is to travel to the UK and sit your OSCE. Now, this is where it gets tricky, depending on the kind of contract that you sign. That's why you remember I said earlier that you have to look at your contract properly, if it's something that you are okay with before you sign. So some employers, in fact, most employers pay for your flights to the UK, okay? So you need to check your contract. So if your employer has offered to pay for your flight to the UK, then once you get your visa, their duty is to book your flight to the UK. Once you arrive in the UK, training starts. Training for your OSCE. And most employers also offer training for OSCE. This comes with the contract, that your job offer contract. So they're going to train you for your OSCE, and then you sit your OSCE. Your training, once you pass your OSCE, you get your PIN, and then you are a qualified registered nurse in the UK. That's just a summary of the process. Each process goes deeper than that, not too deep, but it's really nothing difficult. It's not a big deal. A lot of people have done it. A lot of people will still do it. So if you want to do it, don't look at how tedious the process can be or how much exams you have to write. Just dive in and just take it one step at a time. Now, that's just a summary of the process. Moving on to tips that can motivate and encourage you if you are a nurse and you are thinking of going through the process. The first advice I have for you is to do your research and ask questions. Why? So that you don't make mistakes. Where you can get information. You can get all the information that you would ever need on the internet. Join groups. Join Facebook groups. Join Telegram groups. Join different groups. People going through this process together. They even have some WhatsApp groups, yes, that they motivate each other, they encourage each other, they share information, they share knowledge, they share, advice and different things. So join groups online, do your research. Listen to people that have gone through the same process, okay? Watch YouTube videos, just research, and anything that you are at all not sure about, find somebody that has gone through the process. Find people that are going through the same process like you and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions before you make any mistake, okay? That is the first advice. That is the first tip I have for nurses that are thinking of taking the leap of faith and going through the process as well. Moving on to my second advice for you, okay? Like I said, in the spirit of motivating you and encouraging you, my second advice is that focus on the destination. What I mean is that think about the end goal. If your end goal is being in the UK, being a registered nurse, earning a better life for your family, better opportunities and everything, then don't look at the process. Focus on the end goal, focus on the destination, because that ends a lot. Even if you fail one exam here or there, if you fail IELTS or if you fail CBT, or even if you fail your OSCE, just focus on the end goal. If you fail your IELTS, I've heard of people that wrote IELTS 3, 4, 5 times, 6 times before they passed. And at the end of the day, one thing I will tell you is that at the end of the day, it is worth it. Even if you write your IELTS 10 times, hopefully you won't write it 10 times, but it is worth it. So focus on the destination. Even if you fail a process, even if you have a setback during the journey of relocation, just cheer yourself back up and move on. Continue fighting, continue pushing. So everybody will not, go through the process at the same pace, at the same time, okay? Everybody will not get the same job offer. But the thing is that don't just give up. Just continue. Look at where you want to go. Look at everything that you stand to gain. The stage where people normally have problem is at the IELTS stage, the English stage, which can be daunting sometimes. Don't give up. Keep writing until you pass it, because at the end of the day, it is worth it. Third advice for you is to put in the work and the sacrifice. If you are going through this process, there are a lot of things that you have to sacrifice. Sacrificing your time, your energy, your money. Just make sure you put in the work, especially with reading and preparing for the exams. It's one time you do it, you pass it, and you forget about it. So don't just be registering for IELTS and registering without even practice. If you need help, if you need tutorials, if you need to get a teacher, put in the work, put in the sacrifice, even if it's money, because a lot of people don't have money to write IELTS over again. Even if you have to deny yourself, as long as that is your goal and it is really what you want to do, because at the end of the day, traveling abroad is not for everybody. If you have to save up money to be able to afford your exam and afford the processes, fourth and probably the most important advice for you is that you should enjoy the process. Don't be overwhelmed. Just take it one step at a time. For example, when I was doing my own processing of coming to the UK, what I did was that I listed every process, every order I had to cross through. And then once I got to one order, for example, writing the IELTS, I forgot about every other thing that was coming. I forgot about OSCE. Most times I see people coming into my DM, or people that generally want to come asking me on WhatsApp and saying, oh, they've not even written IELTS. And they are thinking about, oh, so how is the OSCE like? So what is the OSCE? I always tell them, focus on IELTS first. Focus. If not, you get overwhelmed. And then when you are focusing on OSCE, when you've not even passed your IELTS, how will you even be able to pass the IELTS? So don't get overwhelmed by the whole process, because at the end of the day, when you get to that stage that you are even worried about, you will find out that it's even the easiest stage that you don't even have to be worried about. So focus on the stage that you are right now. Focus on the process. Once you get to the process of IELTS, forget about every other thing that is coming in front. Forget about visa application. Forget about CBT. Focus on IELTS. Pass IELTS. Once you are done with IELTS, move to the next stage, which is CBT. Focus on your CBT. Forget about every other thing and pass your CBT. Once you get to the stage of your job application, forget about OSCE. Once you get to fifth advice, which is also as important, it's equally important, is don't procrastinate. And I've seen a lot of nurses do this, not even in nursing alone, differently, even in life generally. If you want to do something, I've learned that the hard way. Don't procrastinate, okay? Do it and get it done with it. Forget about how you are. Forget about maybe people are writing IELTS 10 times, 5 times. Forget about it. You can write it and write it once. Don't procrastinate. Do it now, because the opportunity that is available now, as at this year, last year, 2020, 2021, 2022, when you decide to now take that bold move and make the decisions, that opportunity may no longer be available to you. So if you have the opportunity now, don't procrastinate. Don't say, oh, after I do this, it is never going to be the perfect time. As long as you know that this is the thing for you, this is what you want to do, and you are committed to it, don't procrastinate. That's what I see a lot of nurses do. Oh, next year, I'll take leave and do my IELTS. Oh, next year. Why can't you do your IELTS now? Even if you don't know how you're going to do it, register for the exam. Look at your own capacity and give yourself maybe 2, 3, 4 months. Register for the exam, because once you commit, once you put your money in it, you'll be forced to read. I registered for my IELTS 2 months. I had no idea what it was. I'd never written it before. Register for it in 2 months. My money was there, so I knew that I had something coming. Once you put that financial commitment in, then you'll be motivated to read. But once you keep procrastinating and postponing, oh, I'll write it next year, I'll write it for per year, before you know it, the opportunity will pass you by. And the kind of life that you could be living right now, why postpone it? And even if you write the IELTS, don't be scared of failure and you fail. Big deal. Pick yourself up and write it again. That's just it. There's nothing new. Don't procrastinate. If you want to move to the UK as a nurse, or you want to move to any country, or whatever you want to do it now. Don't procrastinate. Even if you don't understand the end result or how everything is going to work out. When I was processing my own, I did not have a clear picture like I do now of how everything was going to be. It even sounded like it was so unrealistic to me. Okay, it didn't sound real. But the thing is, I knew that this was possible, and I just took it one step at a time, one step at a time. And by the grace of God, I've also been able to help a lot of people, you know, a lot of my friends, a lot of people to also come to the UK. The thing is that it's easy when you know somebody that has done it and, oh, this person is an evidence. This person has done it, and then you can see and ask questions from the person. That's who I was to my friends. But for me, I had nobody. I didn't know anybody that had gone through the process. It was just like me taking a leap of faith. So if you want to do it now, do it fast, and you know, go all in, and you will achieve your goals. Guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you've learned something from my quick summary of the whole process, and also my word of advice and motivation. If you have any questions or comments, just drop it in the comment section below. Maybe I would even do a Q&A after this video to answer all your questions. If questions about nursing, questions about health, questions related to moving to the UK as a nurse. I'm not an expert with any other country, but when it comes to UK, at least I've walked through the process, I've lived the process, so I will be able to answer a few questions to the best of my knowledge. So guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, and please subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video.